Hey everyone, I've been gone a long time and I've got a lot to share, so let me get started. I picked up these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree, and I'm just starting by staining them with a Minwax stain in the color Dark Walnut. Next, I am mixing two paints. I'm mixing a Craft Smart paint in the color Light Pink and an Apple Barrel paint in the color Antique White to kind of give this dusty pink color. I also mixed that Antique White with Apple Barrel paint in the color Princess Purple to give it more of that lighter pastel purple. I did forget to fill the holes, so I went back and I filled all the holes after I started painting, but it still worked out. Next, I did a really rough sanding over all the hearts. And then I'm using this taped off newspaper to guide me because I did this earlier. Wah wah. And I am just taking a stencil that I got at Dollar Tree, and I am stenciling on XOXO on two of the hearts and the word love on the other hearts. Next, I'm just filling in parts of the stencil with this white paint marker, just however I saw fit. And then I am taking some cork board that I got at Dollar Tree, and I am just outlining the hearts, and then I'm going to cut them out and glue them on the back. The colors and supplies that I used for all of these crafts are going to be in the description box below. And here's how they turned out. So project number 2, I grabbed one of these brain teasers from Dollar Tree, and I am a big puzzle nerd. So I thought I would play around and see if I could put it back together, and dang, this is a very good puzzle. If anybody likes brain teasers, I would recommend that you get this, because I couldn't actually figure out how to put it back together. I also didn't want to spend my entire afternoon and my entire kids' nap time trying to figure out this puzzle instead of doing a video, because I've already had so many delays in making this video, so I tried for a little bit, very briefly, and then I gave it to my husband, who in turn gave it back to me, but then told me he found the cheat sheet online. He also found this puzzle for $72 on Etsy, so there you go. Anyway, so I just cut it and I took it off. It's just held together by an elastic, which was really convenient. And then I just sorted out the colors, kind of laid out a pattern that I thought I would like, and then I did the same combination of the antique white and pink, and I painted a portion of the beads pink, and then another portion with an apple barrel paint in the color Dark Granite, and then I left some natural. Next, I got out my handy dandy hand drill that is so incredibly convenient. I love it so much. I found it, and I will put the link in the description if you are looking for a hand drill. This is not sponsored. They have no idea who I am, but that is my favorite tool. My dad got it for me for Christmas, and it is the best thing ever. So, works for everything. I literally hang pictures, I do everything, crafting, everything with it. It's awesome. Anyway, I drilled holes in all of the beads, and then I made a tassel with some Dollar Tree yarn that I had in my stash and some jute string. I'm not really showing you how to make a tassel, but I do have another video where I do, and I will link that up above and below for you if you need that knowledge. And to give it some extra texture, I decided I was going to unravel the yarn and some of the pieces of jute string just to give it a lot of kind of a rough and rugged look. Next, I strung on all the beads. After stringing on all the beads, I used one of the remaining little hearts that I had from another project that you will see after this one, and I used that to tie to the end. I didn't stain it, I just left it how it came from the store because it already had this kind of burnt look just because it's, you know, a laser cut piece of wood, and it was perfect for this project in my opinion. And isn't it so cute? Oh my goodness. Okay, project number 3, I picked up 2 packages of the hearts, of the solid hearts, and one of the die cut hearts. They're just so cute, and unfortunately I lost the footage. I do not know what happened to it. I don't remember my camera dying or anything, but I stained 4 of the hearts with the golden oak color Minwax stain. I colored 4 more with the darker stain in dark walnut, and for that pink, the pink die cut hearts, I actually just mixed water and the same light pink Craft Smart paint, and I did my own homemade stain just to give it I just wanted a very light tint, so, and I think it turned out perfect. So anyway, I am piecing together the hearts with glue gun and E6000 glue so that it'll stay together. I am making a wreath. I want it to stay and be a little bit sturdier than if I were to just use hot glue. So these packages actually came with some jute string hangers already, so I just doubled them up and tied 4 bows around each of the die cut hearts. And then to hang it, I am just using this lace from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just making a simple hanger to hang it. Okay, project number 4 is one of my favorites. It is so cute. So I took, again, these hearts and I stained them. Wait for it. And I stained them, and then I printed out some photos on my printer, and I have a really bad quality printer, but it just kind of added a rustic feel to this project, which made it even more perfect. And so I just cut out pictures, and then I wasn't sure if I was really going to want all of these particular photos, so I did a really light Mod Podge around the edges instead of doing the entire thing. If I were going to keep this and make this permanent, then I would definitely Mod Podge over it to protect the pictures. But anyway, so I just did that, and then I poked a hole where the holes are. Then I was able to use this ribbon that I have that was actually my grandma's. I have a box of ribbon that were from my late grandma, and she just had a bunch of random ribbons, and I have never been able to get rid of them because I am unreasonably attached to ribbon. Considering it was my grandma's, I want to make sure that I use it on the perfect thing, so nothing is ever, good enough to waste this ribbon on. So, but this, for being decor in my house, felt right, and this ribbon was so beautiful. So I used this really other cool tool that I got. It's an electric nailer and stapler. And so I got that. I will link that below as well. Super cool. It's actually got a lot more power than I thought it would. So I just stapled these pieces so that they would be secure on this 1x2. And I glued all of the ribbons in place. Then to kind of give it a little more decor, I used 3 of these leftover hearts, and I just added them as hangers to the bottom to add just a little more, a little more decoration to kind of feel like it was a little more of a professional piece. And then for this hack, I am just using a piece of painter's tape, and I wanted to make sure that my wording was centered on my 1x2. So I did the stencil on the paper first, and then I'm able to see where it's going to go. So I really like that hack. So I'm just using my paint marker to put the word love is ... I don't know if it's just I can't remember if it was just a California thing or what, but when I was growing up, I'm not even sure if it's around anymore, but there was this little comic type of thing. It wasn't even a comic, but there was like a single drawing in the Sunday paper, and I used to collect them when I was in high school, and it always just said love is ... and then the photo was some really cute like expression of love between this little couple on this thing, and it was just this really cute little drawing, and it was always like, I don't know, it just always stuck with me. It was just always like a really cute picture of just displaying acts of love to one another. And so I always think of that, and I always put love is on things because I just really looked forward to Sunday papers so I could cut that piece off. And here's my sad failure. So I really didn't think this through. I got this shadow box and I just scraped off the wording. It really wasn't necessary to scrape off the wording, but I felt it was. My snapping wasn't working that day, so I couldn't even get this painted. I had to paint it by hand, and then finally my snap worked. See? was using those tumbling tower blocks, and I had this really cool idea, but then when I went to actually make the idea, it just completely bombed. So I'm taking the tumbling tower blocks and I'm using one to just kind of make squares, and you'll see why I'm kind of making a faux cut-off block, because I really didn't want to cut a bunch of these teeny tiny little tumbling tower blocks. I ended up cutting 2 so I could have the 4 corners, and you'll see why. So I had 4 little tiny squares, but these ones are just my faux version, and it worked out actually really well. I'll probably use it in a future craft. So I'm staining all the pieces in Early American stain by Minwax, and then I had these stain pens that I used like on a cabinet that had a nick in it, and so I used the walnut stain pen, and I just went along the edges because I really wanted it to have defined edges, especially because I made those faux blocks, and when I stained the faux blocks, as maybe you saw before, the lines are very, very defined, so I wanted to make sure that that carried on throughout the entire project. And here I am just hot gluing the pieces in place. See how that looks? That's a faux block, and you'll see after it's all put together, that's actually a really cool hack. So I will totally use that in the future so I don't have to cut a bunch of tiny squares if I ever want to do this pattern again. So as you see, I made this really cool pattern, and I had, for some reason, I forgot that the back was glass. And that was a big failure on my part, because I really should have just taken the glass out before I started and replaced it with wood, or I don't know what I was thinking, but this just did not work out. So what I was planning to do was some of that yarn art. So I was planning to put 2 rows of nails in it, and the nails kept falling out, so then I took it to the ground and when I did that, it shattered in the back. Wah wah. So I had to nix that idea because I didn't want glass everywhere, and I don't want my kids to, you know, have a tiny oh my goodness, there's a big fly. Hold on. Sorry about that. So I was having just such a hard time, and at this point it was like 1 in the morning, and I really wanted to just complete this project because I really wanted to get a video out, and I've been really stressing that I have not been able to have an allotted amount of time to do all the work for this, and I just didn't want to run out of time. So I just used some Mod Podge, and I decided I was going to just kind of like a decoupage type of thing on here. And I was really kind of hoping that this doily would be a little more transparent. Like, I was kind of hoping it would give a different look. It really didn't. It was literally me just pasting a paper heart on this really beautiful woodwork that I did. So yeah, that's why I call it a failure, because it just really, it doesn't look bad when you see it on display, but it just was not what I envisioned. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy watching my failures and watching the things that I'm really proud of. And yeah, I hope it inspires you to do something. I would love to know in the comments below if you would have done something differently with this. Had you been in my shoes, what would you have chosen to end this project with? I'm just curious to know if anybody has any other ideas. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and a special shout out to Harriet Johnson. You are the sweetest woman. I didn't even check my P.O. box because I didn't think I had anything in it. So thank you so much for your beautiful card. Have a wonderful day, everyone.